Hey there, fellow wanderers. Tonight, we find ourselves stepping back into the quiet, earthy world of medieval peasants. Right inside a humble, thatched hut, where history breathes through every rafter. Picture this: the scent of straw and soil in the morning air, the distant crow of a rooster, and the sun filtering through a crooked wooden window. Everything is simple. Everything is fragile. And yes, you may be wondering, could I really survive this? With drafty corners and less than stellar hygiene, you might need more than a blanket and perhaps a priest's blessing just to be safe. This isn't a rustic Airbnb. This is history. And no, you probably wouldn't last the week. If scenes like this draw you in, like this video, subscribe and drop your location and local time in the comments. Dim the lights. Let the fan hum like countryside wind through straw. Let's begin. You find yourself standing in the middle of a medieval village, surrounded by an array of thatched huts. Each structure, crafted from a mix of mud, straw, and water, echoes a history of simplicity and mundane perseverance. Your abode, modest in its dimensions, is a testament to practicality over luxury. The roof is a criss-crossed pattern of dense straw that, while skilled enough to repel rain, tends to hide a few critters here and there. A gentle tap on the wall reveals its strength. It's sturdily built despite appearances. The morning chores await, just like they do every day. A yawn stretches wide across your face as you brace for another day of reprising necessary routines. As you dress in your rustic garb, those lovely scratchy tunics woven from wool, you briefly ponder on the lack of creativity in textiles. But hey, as long as it keeps out the cold, it's a winner in your books. The smell of what might be breakfast leads you to the fireplace. A porridge of oats simmers gently over an open flame. Simmering might be an optimistic description, though. It's more like stirring a lumpy puddle into something that passes for sustenance. And yet, there's a certain contentment in its warmth, even if it doesn't exactly make your taste buds do a jig. As you venture outside into the morning air, you join the others of your household, who have already started gathering around to discuss the day's tasks. There's a certain camaraderie here, formed not out of choice but necessity. You share everything from chores to the few joys that break through the hard toil of daily life. Conversations flow in a circle, covering everything from the best time to plant barley to the mysterious disappearance of the family goose that keeps the rumour mill turning. The scene unfolds at a pace that feels right, slow enough to notice the morning dew settling on the grass, the clouds lazily painting the sky, and the far-off bleating of sheep that creates a serene soundtrack to the start of your day. Well, serene until someone realizes a bucket had mysteriously sprouted legs overnight and walked off. Ah, the curious cases of stuff that vanishes. Living in a thatched hut might have its challenges, but as you watch your fellow villagers, there's a comfort in familiar faces, the routine sounds of livestock, and the comforting scratch of quills on parchment as a neighbour writes down some agreements for the upcoming fair. It's these moments you revel in. As mundane as they may seem, they are the heartbeat of peasant life. Humorous, demanding, and absolutely grounded. Tools clink and clatter, echoing off the walls as people set about their tasks. Women are busy overseeing the younger ones, while the men discuss repairs that need attending. There's a rhythmic chaos to it all. A scene that feels like organised pandemonium but functions with amazing synchronicity. As the day moves forward, you pull back into the cosy interior of the hut, watching the interplay of shadow and light as the day wears on. The simplicity of life here, hemmed in by thatched walls and a ceiling interwoven with patience and straw, is underscored by the constant hum of survival. Simplicity, after all, is just another word for adaptation in this world of peasants, who make do with what they have. Survival within these walls hasn't changed much throughout the ages, and historians still argue whether the rudimentary tools of this era spoke of ingenuity or limitation. Nevertheless, as twilight casts an orange hue over thatched eaves, you find yourself enjoined with those around you, your neighbours, your kin, and the communal rhythm of life in such rustic simplicity. This is life, unfurling one day at a time under the thatched roof of history. The humdrum reality of medieval existence might seem quaint to the modern eye, but its simplicity holds its own magical complexity, blanketed in the whisper of straw and the ordinary poetry of daily survival. From waking at the crow of dawn to collecting kindling to stoke your hearth, the hours pass with the gentle constancy of this multifaceted world. Staring into the thatch at night, with the occasional rustle from the wind, you weave your own dreams, knowing that tomorrow will bring another day of balancing survival with the search for fleeting joys. And indeed, those fleeting joys are found in every creak of the wooden doors, every glimmer of light cutting through the straw, testifying to the liveliness within these rustic walls. So, as you fluff your straw pillow and listen to the gentle murmur of the village settling for the night, remember that life in a thatched hut isn't just survival. It's a testament to the human spirit's resilience and adaptability. Sweet dreams as you drift away, enveloped in the comforting blanket of this storied past. You find yourself turning your focus toward the very walls that define your home, a humble masterpiece of ingenuity. Constructing your cozy, earthy abode requires a blend of nature's offerings and human resourcefulness. The art of building a medieval hut starts with the land itself, a locale soil transformed into a foundational element that supports the weight of everyday living. Picture it, a bustling scene of villagers pulling together, binding timber frames with mud and straw. Bottle and daub, terms that might sound like they are straight from a medieval artisan's manual, become your new vocabulary. These building blocks comprise of intertwined wooden strips that create a lattice. Upon this, you carefully plaster a sticky mixture of mud, straw, and sometimes even a rogue ingredient that might raise the eyebrows of modern architects: dung. Yes, even the least likely materials find their purpose in hard times. The quirky mix not only keeps the walls standing, but also provides a degree of insulation, not that it will rival the latest smart home gadgetry. As you meticulously cover your home's timber skeleton with daub, you can almost see the contours of life taking shape. The walls, slowly drying in the sun, bear witness to the care and continuous upkeep that keep the elements at bay. It's a patchwork of textures and colours, inviting the tactile curiosity of wandering fingers and helping hands. As you step outside to the adjoining little plot where your roof is forged, you encounter bundles of straw, dry reeds and long grasses poised to be meticulously layered and tied together into thatch. That's where the artistry comes to life, creating a waterproof and surprisingly durable umbrella over your world. Layer upon layer, the thatcher's skilled hands work like clockwork, thatching your roof into a dense web that repels rain and snow. Yet, undiscovered places between the layers sometimes invite lesser house guests. Birds consider it a snug nesting ground. And let's not forget the insects that find their way in to lodge rent-free, proving once and for all that finding loopholes is not a modern invention. As you exert careful precision tying each bundle with twine, you marvel at the final product. A ribboned prairie of golden strands cascading into place. The roof itself is sloped steeply, a clever manipulation of basic geometry that ensures rain slides off easily. Walking away, you look back at your work, proud of this modest set of achievements that offer shelter from whispers of the wild night. Life inside such a hut lulls softly, like the murmur of a gentle stream. Imagine entering through the low brace doors crafted merely to contain heat rather than stand tall as monuments to security. Their worn wooden hinges creak a little, a nostalgic tribute to hard-working blacksmiths. As your eyes adjust to the dim light filtering through the small window openings, you're enveloped in a familiar appreciation of the interplay between light, space, and simplicity. The interior is demarcated by minimalism, a fire at the center for warmth, a couple of benches on either side, and an array of simple storage solutions, if not just holes in the walls. Narrow shelves hold the essentials: a clay pot, wooden bowls, and rudimentary tools serving myriad purposes. In one corner, a straw bed invites you to dream of kings and kingdoms, except when it pokes you into wakefulness, reminding you of reality with every sharp jab. Laden with the aroma of the past, your hut becomes an archive of sorts, bearing the oaky hints of wood smoke mingled with the earthy scent of plasters that form the texture of your daily life. Its coziness, albeit with its rustic flaws, offers warmth and protection, allowing for moments of rest and reflection amidst the cropping duties that shape your days. Remember that even as the thatched walls perform admirably, they carry their own imperfections, perhaps leading to debates between historians about whether these dwellings were homes of necessity or choice. Let the slight draft remind you that life here isn't idyllic, but honest in its portrayal of the struggles and resilience required of those times. Living in a thatched hut is akin to bearing witness to a testament of history, a document penned upon the fibres of grass and earth, showing that in spite of all hardships, community and craftsmanship thrive. As you move from corner to corner, taking in each simple construction material, you see reflections of the human spirit's unwavering determination to create beauty amid challenges. This charming, spacious canopy over your rural existence stands as both shelter and hearth. It whispers tales of yesterday, while providing a canvas upon which today's stories unfold, ensuring that each ridge and weave contributes to a living, breathing legacy of practical homeliness. As evening arrives and shadows settle into the curves and crevices, remember that this is more than just a house. It is a home, where the intimacy of past smiles and unseen tears wraps you in a comforting embrace under the rhythmic hum of faint stirring straw above. Whether it's the collective laughter woven into the fabric of your abode, or the silent prayers earthed in its foundations, it all blends seamlessly, stitching together the unassuming poetry of ordinary life. The sun has stretched across the sky, marking its inevitable journey toward the afternoon, and your life as a medieval peasant marches forward with a comfortingly mundane routine. Once the breakfast bowls have been put aside, you rise with a resolve, ready to dive into the ongoing tapestry of daily tasks that await. Each day possesses a rhythm that becomes as familiar as a favourite melody, tracing grooves of necessity, punctuated by the gentle echoes of nature and community life, a harmony you know well. Armed with a bucket, a pair of sturdy shoes cobbled just well enough to withstand the dirt tracks, and an attitude that oscillates between steadfastness and mild amusement, you proceed to the well. It forms the lifeblood of the village, both practical and social. Here, stories are exchanged as often as the water, and today's cautious whispers drift towards the mysterious absence of Old Man Wilkin's black hen, a saga that's taken on legendary status through sheer repetition. The simple act of hauling water becomes an exercise in muscle and camaraderie, punctuated by the laughter shared with a neighbour. The line for the well not only waters the community but also refreshes spirits, offering a subtle reminder that sometimes it's the mundane that magic sprinkles its charms upon. After fill-ups and cheerful goodbyes, it's time to prepare for morning chores back at your thatched fortress, humble and earthy as it might be. You return to your hearth, adding kindling with care, coaxing flickers of flame into a sturdy blaze. It's a routine task, but one that anchors your day, tying you back to the pulse of generations past, creating continuity from yesterday's embers to tomorrow's warmth. Your morning meal is simple. A classic choice, oatmeal, stirred with methodical patience, slightly waterlogged or extra thick. Flavour comes from its comforting heartiness rather than complex taste. Sometimes you daydream of fantastical feasts of roasted meats and pies laden with berries, but oatmeal, in all its reliable blandness, holds its charm when shared among those you cherish. Once the last spoonful is cleared, rinsed and set to dry, the outdoors summons anew. Fields ready to be combed, livestock nudging for attention, a symphony needing its conductor. The world turns with this choreography of nature, and task you weave through it, tending to the garden and feeling the satisfaction of dirt under fingernails. You pull weeds and gather fresh produce with reverence and a touch of ownership. What's grown beneath your hands carries a narrative of toil and hope. Near the fields, life unfolds with predictability, yet it invites you to indulge in the beauty of shared labour. Cowbells tinkle softly, and you nod to the milkmaid, exchanging pleasantries over the state of calves and the curious antics of farmyard animals. Sometimes, laughter breaks through at the sight of a stubborn goat leading someone a merry chase across the pasture, reminding you that stubbornness isn't confined just to people. Through the day's cycle, the simplicity of work defines the hours, yet it breeds a camaraderie that's enriched by the lighter sides of your toil. A spilled pail, a misplaced tool, mostly minutes for chuckles. You think of today's children rushing past, mud-splattered and joyous, enacting the night's grand tales, jousting with sticks against invisible dragons. It paints a hopeful picture, a wealth of stories yet to be spread, a reminder of innocence and dreams birthed even amid the harshest landscapes. But for now, focus returns to work, moving tools from the barn or fixing a section of the hedge that threatens to unravel. a constant battle waged between tradition and nature. It's a day punctuated by satisfying noises, the churning of well-oiled routines that guard the village against the encroaching wild. Repair work may seem tedious, but the good humour between neighbours creates a pleasant rhythm. Moments of unforeseen delight wrapped in humour and melodies hummed beneath breath. The afternoon light glistens off sweat beaded on foreheads, signalling a time when you angle for the cool shade of the barn, resting weary bones. Lunch offers bread dipped in the village's hearty stew, simple and sustaining. Conversations flutter lightly, mingling with daydreams of foreign lands or tales from peddlers' markets, creating a rich tapestry upon which you all work in humble synchrony. The sun's ardour finally begins to wane as evening saunters in, and thoughts drift towards supper. It's this return indoors to the promise of a meal shared, older stories, the kind that grow taller each time they're told around a single flickering candlelight that stitches the day with rich, warming threads as brothers, friends and family gather close. As the stars reveal themselves in the quilted sky above, their familiarity comforts you beneath your protective thatch. Tomorrow's list of known tasks quietly writes itself across your mind, yet deep down, you know excitement lives in the gaps where expectations aren't met, and life's wrinkles break into laughter and sighs. With each day, history wraps itself around the rhythms of daily life, thrilled with tales unspooled in the simple continuity of sunup to sundown. As you slumber, head nestled on a straw pillow, remember that these gentle cycles form the patchwork that quilts your existence, a tapestry rich in effort, community, and, most importantly, an irrepressible, undying spirit of ordinary magic. As the day tiptoes into the warmth of midday, your thoughts naturally wander toward food. It's time to unravel the mysteries of medieval meals, a daily ritual woven into the fabric of peasant life. Hungry from hours of labour, you pause to glance out from beneath your humble thatched roof toward the fire, where a pot, time-worn and familiar, bubbles with hopeful sustenance. Imagine this simplicity. A backdrop of hazel smoke drifts lazily from your hearth, curling upwards in abstract patterns that dance for those who cherish small joys. This hearth is your kitchen, where stones outline a fire pit and a blackened cauldron hangs precariously poised over the flames, attended with reverence and a touch of culinary optimism. While modern kitchens boast gleaming surfaces and state-of-the-art appliances, here it's the song of crackling wood and the earthy flair of home-cooked practicality that warm your heart. Your meal today consists of pottage, a hearty concoction that might not win over the high dining elite, but certainly meets its promise of filling hungry bellies. Equal parts necessity and imagination, this dish becomes whatever story the contents of your kitchen tell. Cabbage and leeks commingle with swedes, barley thickening the broth into something anticipated and comforting like an old tune. Like a mystery novel, the secret to your meal lies in its variations. Occasionally something exotic slips into the pot, perhaps a shred of bacon from a successful barter, or, on truly special occasions, a handful of wild herbs harvested from nearby paths. As you stir diligently, aromatic steam caresses your face, clouding the monotony with its fragrant adventure. Up close, you can see your fellow villagers also attending their pots, united in this culinary performance. It's not only about individual kitchens, but creating that shared sense of nourishment, where intangible threads knit a community. Between stirs, you speak of plans when to plant the next crops, or whose roof leaked during last night's rain. Every tale is treated with laughter or advice, which naturally blends into the stew, thickening camaraderie alongside the ingredients. Outside, clever pigs grunt and cluck about, sniffing at scraps. They remind you that not every day is a feast for them. Chickens trundle, all pompous feathers and dignity as they pirate fallen grains. Their clucking descendants have been heard in your hut's tale more than once, alongside the epic legend of the rooster that crowed his company's loyalty in the face of late sleepers. Returning indoors, the rustic wooden table, coupled with ceramic mugs and humble utensils, invite you to eat. Bowls are filled and passed around, each serving ladled with stories of yesterday, dreams of tomorrow. Laughter curdles the air, an accompaniment that sweetens even the most basic fare. Bread, hand-kneaded and baked yesterday, dots the table. Though rustic and needing a sturdy wrist to tear, it yields willingly to hungry hands and complements the meal with its hearty presence. In these moments you imagine the comparison with grand medieval feasts, banquets held in drafty stone halls, adorned with succulent roasts and exotic spices. Yet, you'd wager that few experience quite the same warmth that breaks through the humblest kitchens and the satisfaction of meals that, while plain, throng with heartwarming sincerity. A tender pause arises, soup cooled but appetite warmed by the simplicity and richness of communal company. You savour the symphony of life playing out around you. Spoons clinking against bowls, laughter, the fading patter of nimble feet. Food binds not only your energy, but also purpose and solidarity. Rich threads spun into the tapestry of life shared. Remember that historians still argue whether these kitchen confections offered more in terms of survival or tradition. But here, in your peasant kitchen, tales of discovery and invention bubble to the surface, finding their way into everything from broth to baked delight. As the day progresses, gratitude blankets your thoughts, wrapping the mundane in a warm embrace. Here, within the rebellion of thatched roofs against stone castles, you carve out your narrative. Evening fires inspiring dreams of flavours yet untasted, recipes whispered from the heart, chickens cackle, the hum of hearths. It's a different sort of symphony, layering rhythms onto the parchment of village life. The meal itself, unscripted and welcoming, offers uncomplicated pleasure, and therein lies its beauty. One bowlful, meant to slake midday cravings, transforms into a humble feast for eyes, ears, and souls alike. As shadows lengthen, casting filigree patterns that accompany the gathering dusk, you find yourself fortified against the world's uncertainties by the grace of simple sustenance. As the day morphs into evening, pausing to look out from beneath your thatched canopy offers you the canvas on which tomorrow's meals will be painted, a stable reminder of continuity, of stories shared over crumbly loaves and bubbling stews, and the gentle reminder that, at its core, survival here is truly an art form in its simplest, most profound expression. As the shadows lengthen and the day drifts lazily into early evening, thoughts naturally turn to the dynamic interplay of family life nestled within the confines of your thatched hut. Living in such tight quarters with extended family might initially appear daunting, but every glance, every shared smile, and every whispered word transforms these spaces into a microcosm of medieval society. The heart of your home beats softly amid warm walls of mud and straw, embracing the cacophony of multi-generational life. Children's laughter intertwines with the gentle chuckles of elderly relatives, echoed by footsteps padding softly over the earthen floor. Daily life unfurls its gentle rhythms through this tapestry of voices, converging in a harmonious chorus. Family dynamics within this snug haven demand a delicate balancing act. Space here is at a premium, and privacy a mere figment of imagination, prompting everyone to navigate an intricate dance of compromise and understanding. Your eyes might meet across the small room in shared agreement or an inside joke, while often, a silent nod convenes a decision requiring no spoken word. You find that chores form the sinews which hold everyday life together, each family member assuming roles that interlock like pieces of a much-cherished puzzle. The division of labour, although informal, becomes instinctive. One person watches the roast while another tends to mending clothes, and the youngest trots to fetch water or gather firewood. It's a cadence of cooperation born from necessity that fosters mutual respect and anchors your shared existence. And just as chores are divided, so too are the daily disputes that may arise. Tensions flare up between siblings over trivial slights, atmospheric as their tempers cool much like the wisp of steam from a simmering pot, venturing upwards, only to dissipate harmlessly. A gentle reprimand or the weighted authority of an elder's glance can often smooth these ripple-like disturbances, drawing stubborn children back into an orbit of cherished kinship. The jokes among you flow like shared bread, light-hearted quips exchanged over supper or the familiar teasing distractions during shared tasks. These solaces become traditions, weaving lightness into the fabric of trying days. You can almost picture the stories set to evolve years hence, with each jest forming the colourful threadwork of family lore. It's no secret that space is at a premium. Watch your step between slumbering forms, straw mats neatly arranged in the evening to cradle tired bodies. These temporary arrangements are swept aside with morning sun, yielding to the bustling transformation of areas from beds to kitchens again. This eternal flux between night and day turns coordination into an unsung skill and cooperation into an art form. Historians still argue whether medieval families leaned more towards stoic endurance rather than warmth. However, Amidst your moments of shared intimacy, you discern a deeper emotional thread binding you together. There's the tenderness of nursing an elder through illness, or the song hummed by a parent to lull children to sleep, sublimating bond beyond mere survival. Underneath the everyday banter lies a quiet love, a sinew of strength cocooning such unpretentious solicitude as intergenerational wisdom is calmly passed from one heart to another. Evening brings the family hearth its steadfast glow. Pouched in that gentle light, stories come to life, tales spun rich with moral lessons or mischievous anecdotes. After all, listening becomes an ever-receptive experience here, where fibres of here and now tangle effortlessly with the humble spirits of past, carrying forward valuable lessons and laughter alike. Silence, when it descends, is soft, a gossamer shroud gently curving its expanse to bring rest to the weariest soul. Alliance, despite momentary hardship or bouts of frustration, tips the family scale towards solidarity. Cooperation learned under duress turns into kindnesses readily given, a shared cloak of responsibility shielding a bond that transcends perils. You sense each instance a tiny thread, adding nuance to this vibrant tapestry woven into the warp and weft of your mutual resilience. And so, as the evening deepens and contentedly folds into night, the rhythmic cadence drifts on as soft breathing, a lullaby unto itself. Cloistered among kin, you rest afloat dreams shared across generations, a reminder of enduring connections forged in the gracious undercurrent of family. Each heartbeat carries liberation, the promise that tomorrow's light will unite you in harmony once more, and ready to embrace whatever challenges and moments unfold, anchored steadfastly by the bonds nurtured within these timeless walls. As the sun rises and your thatched hut bustles to life, your thoughts turn to the woven threads of medieval fashion. In a world where practicality reigns supreme, clothing serves not merely as protection against the elements, but also as a testament to the resourcefulness and creativity deployed by peasant families. Stepping into the dim, cool corners of your home, you gather the garments hung carefully on wooden pegs. Each piece tells its own tale of modest ingenuity, a tapestry of cloth spun, dyed, and sewn by hands bearing witness to a life of labour. Today's attire consists of a simple tunic, homespun from hardy wool, that's been laboriously transformed from fleece into fibre, then into yarn, before finally being woven into fabric. The tactile softness of wool offers both warmth and breathability, qualities highly prized as seasons shift and days unspool in a myriad of textures and temperatures. You slip into these well-worn clothes with the fluency of familiarity, the tunic's simple lines providing comfort through modesty, a garment assembled piece by piece, binding the past and present through each stitch. Although the palette may not sing with vibrant hues, commonly favouring the earthy browns, muted greens and gentle greys, once and again, natural dyes derived from plants and roots gift a pop of colour, an accidental artistry upon humble fabric. The task of mending and making falls largely upon the womenfolk, whose nimble fingers transform needle and thread into instruments of creative necessity. These quick hands deftly patch holes and lovingly refashion modest scraps into usable parts, ensuring that each piece, though often handed down, fits snugly into both necessity and affection. Each garment bears a story, one spun not just from threads, but from the care woven through familial bonds, clothes that endure against time's frayed edges. As roles within the community are often indicated by the styles and fabrics of clothing, you find that your everyday wear speaks volumes of your place among the village's intricate social structure. In stark contrast to your simple garb, the wealthy might flaunt fine linen, velvet, and intricate embroidery, a vivid demonstration of status that emphasizes disparity but also serves to illuminate the vibrant kaleidoscope of medieval life. You harbor a quiet satisfaction, though knowing that despite, or perhaps because of these stark differences, your threadbare attire is armoured by durability and the history of every stitch. The art of weaving remains an intricate task, requiring both concentration and patience. Spinning, a ritual watched over with reverence, transforms raucous evenings into nights enriched with camaraderie. Amidst laughter and softly spoken words, the dance of the spindle and wheel becomes a meditative practice each rotation, a soothing mantra carried across the lanolin-dusted air. Children learn the delicate dance of textile making at an early age, they are introduced to the art of weaving and threading wool, an apprenticeship under the tutelage of elders. Adapting to the tactile rhythm, they learn to create from what little is available and come to appreciate the generations. Long narratives spinning through each weary fibre. Times change, yet in every homemade garment lies a testament, a quilt of resourcefulness draped across generations. Returning to the spinning wheel, you feel its comforting pull beneath your fingers, a rhythmic tap complementing the serene guidance of experienced hands. Life in medieval times offers little room for the frivolous, yet within these pragmatic textiles lies a vein of subtle beauty. Historians still argue whether medieval clothing was purely practical or revealed deeper societal symbolism. The truth weaves itself quietly throughout such harmonic debates, a vibrant tableau of art embedded within necessity. As the day progresses, the relentless momentum of your village pulses on, guided by routines honed by necessity. You unfurl bolts of fabric stored safely for winter, gazing at the stack with a seamstress pride that extends far beyond the threads composing it. A subtle saga of triumph through adversity. Evening descends, casting golden hues into twilight. Draped in simple attire cut from cloth tended by hands that grasp the passing weft with steadfast faith in survival's rhythm, you reflect on the enduring contributions these garments silently proclaim. They cloak history and carry the vibrant song of wear and freedom, marching resilient into tomorrow, bathed in the chiaroscuro of life's rich hues. Thus, under a canopy of fading light, shielded by this woven embrace, you nestle into the night, cradled by dreams spun across darkened horizons, dreaming of days yet to be spun anew beyond your doorsteps. As you awaken to the dawn of a new day in your medieval village, the air carries a familiar bite. A reminder that life beneath a thatched roof is intricately tied to the whims of the seasons. Each turn of the earth, each shift in temperature, marks a new challenge or reprieve in the cycle of peasant life. With the approach of spring, the air pulses forward with fresh vitality. You open your door to the internationally acclaimed soundtrack of birds chirping melodies that welcome life back to the fields and coax sprouting buds from their winter's repose. The fields, now burgeoning with verdant optimism, summon forth your efforts to turn the soil and plant crops that will carry you through the year. Spring brings its fair share of challenges, though, as each sudden rainstorm could herald the unwelcome appearance of mud-streaked paths that threaten to swallow boots whole. Yet, beneath the laughable antics of slipping and stumbling, there's gratitude for these blessed rains, the lifeblood nourishing the awaited harvest. Boots, soaked and stubborn against the earth's sticky embrace, manage to narrate stories of resilience, pooling laughter in their watery footprint trails. Summer saunters in next on radiant heels, bringing long days bathed in searing sunshine. Fields bask beneath it, whispering promises of abundance through expanding grains swaying in synchronized relief. Within thatched walls, however, the air grows stuffy and stale, an oppressive blanket discouraging rest. Farm life demands grit and tenacity under the sun's relentless gaze. Chores bend before daylight's power, when every bead of sweat binds effort to progress. You're known to dip salty brows into shade, though these respites are brief, veiling intentions in the guise of opportunity seized amidst a gathering haze. Evening's allure draws farmers together beneath the sky's indigo curtain, swapping stories and cooling dusty heels in bold defiance of humidity's remorseless grasp. Once raucous summer melody begins to fade, autumn sweeps in on breezes dappled with russet and ochre hues. There's abundant satisfaction in the harvest's bounty. Sacks of grain hauled to barns, their contents echoing symphonic rustling promises of sustenance to come. Though the sun surrenders sooner, setting days awash in tangerina lights, your pace quickens along echoing paths cloaked in the sharp scents of drying leaves. Reverent whispers swirl alongside your labours, fueled by grateful hearts combing fields with reaping hands and whispering gratitude for the land's sustained ebullience. Yet, autumn brings its own challenges, with frantic preparations to secure home for winter days, storing food and fortifying thatch, whether strengthening walls or repairing leaks. Your heart, though buoyed by tales spun with vines and hay, feels the stirring apprehension of cold months just beyond the horizon, threatening to anchor dreams beneath layers of snow. Winter arrives, with the inevitability of nightfall, unfolding crisp blankets across meadows blanketed white. Flurries intermingle with smoke swirling upwards through chimney flues, binding villages stilled by solemn reverence. Life inside your thatched sanctuary coils snugly around crackling hearths, whispering warm tales over evening meals. Outside, chores dwindle but not disappear, for life is ever industrious and livestock still demand vigilance. The cold becomes both challenge and companion, an inexorable package alongside this cherished season of festivity and hibernation. Each snowfall punctuates the silence beyond walls, each icy breath demanding awed respect where reality feels playfully distant beneath frost-tipped caps painted trees. Historians still argue whether the medieval calendar was driven more by obligation or celebration. In truth, festival gatherings and fervent work are umbilically connected. There's purpose in both mirth and conveyance of community through hardship. Embracing survival as artifice born from seasonal constancy turns labour, honed by shared effort, into a loving tradition. Despite winter's frosted embrace, you find warmth beneath your thatched roof in storytelling, laughing with your kin, sharing chore-laced anecdotes illuminating snowy nights. Each tale, each song harmonizes the chorus of steaming eaves curled around steaming plates, while blustering winds carry them far beyond your homely cocoon. And as the seasons slowly travel their celestial course, it is with resilient dedication that you step forward, each step gracefully carried atop laughter, tears, toil and tireless faith. They, the seasons, theirs, the journey of a peasant, resilient and mighty, ushering nature's timeless embrace from one era to the next. With the dawn's light tiptoeing over the horizon, a new sense of practical urgency fills the cool air in your thatched home. Today you must confront the prevailing challenges of health and hygiene, a medieval bounce of hilariously low expectations set against a backdrop of dirt and communal living that relies as much on folklore as it does on rudimentary practices. Imagine this. Healthcare options within reach are no more sophisticated than herbs hanging like forgotten ornaments from wooden beams, mixed with whispered charms and willingness to endure whatever ailment brays the doorstep. Outside, you draw water from the village well, the morning's chill giving clarity to its rippling surface, a liquid lens through which hygiene becomes a curious interplay of necessity and resignation. The daily wash is a rudimentary affair, splashing cold water on face and hands. There's a sense of nature's stark, refreshing embrace, reminding you almost cheekily of your limitations, against odours unearthed with persistent vigour beneath layers of homespun fabric. Soap's invention teeters on the horizon. Once rare and often homemade, it's crafted from rendered animal fat and ashes, an earnest endeavour that curbs grime while leaving hands with just an edge of braggadocio bravery in their fragrance. There's an unexpected levity in the practicality as you wring out your washing. Some might call it rustic, others simply of the times. As you settle into your morning routine, the humble origins of the village bathhouse emerge, as a place where both cleanliness and community converge, a steamy conclave of shared sympathy and whispered village news. Communal bathing becomes an occasion of unwritten rituals, social yet curious to modern individualism, turning mundane ablution into interconnected dance over soap, steam, and companionship. The realm of healthcare alternates between herbal and humorous. Healing concoctions rely on the countryside's natural pharmacy, growing abundantly if you know where to look. Most days you find comfort in the wisdom of the wise ones, village herbalists who spend days making tinctures from yarrow and comfrey or boiling willow bark to soothe aches and fever. Their assortments, mixed with a healthy sprinkle of folklore, reveal elixirs that seem equally capable of warding off ailments or calling forth whimsical curses, depending on how they're received. Life becomes both patient and doctor in kind. And while myths and magic mix freely into medicinal recipes, ailments are rather less poetic. Aches and pains dog every villager in different ways. Dietary challenges make no exception of hard toil. One point on which everyone agrees is that laughter, although unconventional, may well be the best tonic of them all. Practical joking and banter become the bubbling tonic that makes temporary suffering bearable. And, amid gentle ribbing about last year's rash treatment, humour proves an unworthy opponent to any illness. Despite jokes and priestly blessings, some household remedies leave you wondering if a touch of cruelty has been allowed in under medieval living conditions. Treatments of hot pokers and bloodletting stand testament to experimental therapies matched only by nature herself. The range of these remedies invokes both skepticism and admiration. a spectrum on display daily alongside bread and toil. Winter poses particular health challenges. The frost on one side eager to recruit into its colds and coughs. Drafts impervious to the protests of thatched eaves sneak courageously into huts. Yet there's warmth in the camaraderie, rendered necessary from shared blankets, looping health lessons through intertwined truths and legend, whispered remedies around huddled groups. Historians still argue whether medieval hygiene thrived on survival or adaptation, each situation surrendered to prevailing necessity over tidy practice. However, it lies in these very acts of symbiotic living, sharing whispers of health lore across generations, that create the patchwork of lives lived close to earth and sky. As twilight sidles into the village, the hearth crackles gently, alongside the cadence of evening conversations centered, as they invariably do, around health, healing, and an almost mythic perseverance. You listen, soaking in the wisdom carried through generations past. An echo turns soliloquy as warm broth offers nightly promise. The quietude that nights bring settles upon your heart, weaving dreams that carry away worries on a tapestry of community's gentle embrace. Strength endures across lips and reeds, guardians eternally stationed beneath nests woven within those humble thatched eaves, binding healer and soldier in harmonious pacts that whisper only of resilience. You find sleep amidst hope and laughter, wondering idly whether tomorrow's cough will inspire another remedy, or merely another jest enshrined in village lore. As the sun journeys across the sky, casting warm shadows over the village, the balance between work and leisure becomes a delicate dance in the life of a medieval peasant. The relentless cycle of toil is punctuated by moments of respite, where laughter and stories flow more freely than ale at a village feast. Once the morning's chores have given way to the predictable cocoon of sweat and satisfaction, the village breathes a collective sigh of relief. Afternoon's gentle haze blurs the lines between work and leisure, inviting you to linger a moment longer, to watch and perhaps join in the merriment unfolding at the village commons. The commons, an ever-patched quilt of earth where life's vibrant hues unfurl, a space that bears witness to the playful spirit of those young and the youthful stillness of those born much earlier. Here, amid the rustle of leaves and the whispers of the wind, ages collide in games that transcend the rigours of everyday living. Witness this symphony of movement. Children chase each other with the exuberance of springtime foals, sticks and stones transmuting through imagination into swords and shields of legendary knights. Their laughter becomes the soundtrack to an afternoon, echoing throughout the commons, and carrying with it the promise of youthful idleness against life's relentless demand for perseverance. Not so far away, adults engage in their casual pastimes, the laborious yet delicate task of weaving ropes or mending tools, evolving into broad strokes of camaraderie and storytelling. You find yourself once more captivated by the hilarity of tales spun with mischievous wit around a dicing game, not unlike today's playful banter and board games shared over lazy weekends. A favourite game, that of Ludus, commands laughter as players vie to outwit rather than outrun their opponents, engaging those gathered in a public spectacle ripe with cheers, jeers, and the occasional groan when a strategic blunder topples aspirants down amid wry exchanges. Each game is elevated to life's theatre, a grand canvas where humour paints the lines, and always there are new jabs served in jest over rounds of competing wit. These gatherings, festooned with love, weave the fabric of community, uniting medieval souls in joyous abandon and lively competition. They offer relief against a world sometimes burdened by toil, knitting individuals into a vividly hued tapestry, where threads of kinship brush softly against hardship's rugged seam. The fringes around the commons host casual crafting, a place where spinning yarn and patching garments find a tactile rhythm. From these hands emerge both humour and things of beauty, shared experience that speaks both vibrantly and subtly to the promises of hands united in mutual endeavour. As the sun prepares its descent, shaded by trees whose dappled canopy ensures cheer remains unfading, you listen to the soothing hum of stories. Further afield, in elder circles, tales of familial folklore favour history, blending grandeur with irony. All histories find a place here, some recounted in hearty guffaws over the hunt for colossal fish that got away, others tracing forgotten ghostly footsteps across time's shifting silt. These tales embrace tales that meander amidst bravado, threading laughter through the fabric of raised mugs and imperishable legend. For every story held captive within the flicker of nostalgia, there's a younger voice waiting in nascent vigor, balancing the melody with anecdotes spun fresh that afternoon beside the village well. Amid all this, you find synergy between laughter and labour. Historians still argue whether leisure formed legitimate escapism, or simply played an auxiliary role in the merry choreography of peasant life. The truth dances lightly across both arguments, revealing that life beneath thatch unfolded in stanzas, that the joy of play and camaraderie became necessary harmonies composed by those who worked tirelessly in beatific balance. And as twilight descends like a soft mantle, wrapping everyone and everything in gentle velvet light, you draw comfort from the knowledge that in this delicate balance of work and play lies the essence of village living. Shared stories, shared labour, shared life. Underneath the enduring embrace of starlit skies, laughter whispers assured promises, bidding tomorrow's dawn to rise anew. A wonder forged from the gentle tapestry, woven resolutely in those twilight interludes amidst twinkling fires. These become lasting primordial rhythms that echo from fields to hearts, resonating with the simple satisfaction of momentary rest and joyous reprieve. With the oscillating hum of village life thrumming in your ears and the sun casting its warm glow upon the earth, the intricate dance of social structure within your medieval community takes center stage. From the humble threshold of your thatched hut, you can sense the unspoken hierarchies that weave the villagers into a complex web of roles, responsibilities and rituals. As you step out into the morning light, the village unfolds like a carefully orchestrated play, each actor well rehearsed in their parts. The social hierarchy, while fluid in its day-to-day interactions, is deeply rooted in tradition and necessity. At its core lies a symbiotic relationship between lords, clergy, and peasants, a triangle of dependence and duty defined by land, faith, and toil. You, as a peasant, reside near the base of this pyramid, your life intertwined with the earth beneath your feet. The land is both a provider and a taskmaster, its bounties hard-won through sweat and perseverance. In return for your labour, you owe the lord of the manor a portion of your harvest, a tithe that ensures both your protection and your place within the estate's microcosm. Looming over the village from a nearby hill is the manor house, its stone silhouette a constant reminder of the lord's presence. While daily interactions with the nobility are limited, the lord's influence is felt in every furrow ploughed and every seed sown. His decisions ripple through the village, dictating access to resources and determining the rhythms of your agrarian life. Yet there's more to the hierarchy than mere subordination. In many ways, the lord is as dependent on your work as you are upon his land. It's a delicate balance of power, one that fosters a complex tapestry of respect and obligation. The lord oversees justice, settles disputes, and ensures that pathways to prosperity remain open within the village's boundaries. Beyond the lord's reach, the church casts its own shadow over village life. The local priest, a figure of both spiritual authority and earthly counsel, acts as a bridge between the divine and the mundane. His words in the chapel echo with promises of salvation and the moral teachings that shape your decisions. Faith binds the community together, anchoring lives in a shared pursuit of spiritual fulfillment. It's within this dual structure of secular and sacred power that you navigate your existence, where acts of allegiance and fealty are interwoven with personal faith and morality. Though the roles are distinct, they are not without overlap, a dance of alliances unique to these times. Returning to the village square, where daily life converges in a hum of activity, the presence of hierarchy evolves. There are artisans and craftsmen who, though sharing the same layer on the social rung, possess skills that afford them small pockets of elevation and respect. Blacksmithing, weaving, and carpentry, each trade injects the village with its distinct lifeblood, ensuring that diversity thrives within commonality. While the craftsman's talents garner admiration, they too abide by the lord's rules. Stepped in tandem with the peasants, they reside under the watchful eyes of both manorial and ecclesial oversight. Yet, despite the rigidity of social stratification, instances of community fluidity arise, allowing for shared responsibilities and interactions that transcend arbitrary divisions. Children, unsullied by the weight of social status, embody the innate fluidity of this system. Their play erases boundaries forged by adulthood, laughter folding into endless alliances, unworried by society's unfinished hierarchies. You smile at their innocence, their antics a poignant reminder of what lies beneath structured formality, humanity unburdened by hierarchy. Historians still argue the nuances of peasant life within this intricate framework. Was it merely survival surrounded by constraints, or did it mask an underlying current of cooperation born of shared hardship? The truth rests somewhere in between, revealed within the tender threads connecting field, forge, and faith. As the sun arcs higher overhead and shadows begin to stretch, you marvel at the symphony playing out within everyday life, an orchestration of gears interlocking harmoniously under the auspices of reciprocal dependence. It leads you back toward your thatched abode, the lessons of hierarchy invisibly colouring the world around you. As twilight descends, you gather with others amid flickering candles, sharing tales and songs that weave through the moats of domain and doctrine. Here, where social structures blur under the equanimity of nightfall, unity emerges. You and your fellow villagers, unburdened by daylight's duties, breathe life into shared moments of timeless continuity and gentle defiance. A quiet assembly of fellowship beneath shimmering stars, with the evening's shadows elongating beneath a sky turning to velvet. The spiritual dimension of your village life unfurls. Religion and superstition walk hand in hand, casting their intricate web over the lives of peasants dwelling under thatched roofs. Each day is a gentle tapestry woven with the threads of faith and the shadows of the unknown. As you step outside your hut, the air is tinged with the murmurs of prayer and the resonance of church bells tolling from the nearby chapel. The village congregates regularly in this sanctuary that sits sturdily upon its sacred foundation, both a physical and spiritual cornerstone. Here, beneath the timbered arches and flickering candlelight, Scripture intertwines with everyday concerns, anchoring your community in a shared journey towards spiritual salvation. The priest, adorned in vestments that shimmer with an otherworldly richness, emerges as a shepherd to his flock, guiding you through the labyrinths of veneration and the subtle moralities of medieval existence. His role oscillates between educator and arbiter, offering solace in times of trouble and stern counsel when the precarious balance of good and evil demands it. Whether illuminating scripture or enunciating the mysteries of divine works, he stands as a bridge to holiness, his presence an emblem of stability amid life's vicissitudes. Tapped into this flow of ecclesiastical rhythm, the village's liturgical calendar takes hold, weaving milestones into everyday life. The feast days of saints impose their own celestial momentum, moments when labour yields to celebration. Fields and chores are exchanged for hymns and parades. These sacred pauses ripple through the likes of harvest festivals and post-Easter gatherings, binding villagers in both shared revelry and reverence. But religious observance mingles curiously with the undercurrents of superstition. For every prayer sent heavenward, a whispered charm tugs at the shadows, invoking protection against what the eye cannot see. Malicious spirits, omnipresent mischief makers believed to dwell amid the fringes of the known world. The tug-of-war between faith and folklore spins itself into village life's very tapestry, where curses dance with incantations steeped in lore. Superstitions add excitement, perhaps frustration, to your existence. The belief that salt spilled invites bad luck, twisting an accidental sway of the hand into the beginning of vexing fates, compels you to always scatter grains over the left shoulder just in case. Villagers believe that horseshoes protect against mischief. Thus, they adorn entryways with metallic guarantees that stand as sentinels over your nighttime reveries. The lesser-known folklore, whispered in secretive tones around the glowing hearth, brings tales of trickster fae that meddle where they may, or household spirits appeased by offerings of milk and bread. They blur the line between fear and fascination, giving you cause to wonder about the boundaries of understanding and belief. In the hallowed echoes of chapel, or the dim-lit corners of dusty corners, humanity gravitates toward narratives that instill both comfort and trepidation. Historians still argue whether medieval superstition was a pragmatic solution to unexplained mysteries, or a vestige of a magical world intertwined with emerging religious doctrine. Either way, the synergy of supernatural whispers with the rigid dogma forms a foundation upon which life teeters precariously, acknowledged by priests who comprehend the intrinsic importance of each toiling villager's heart. Returning to the communal fire as evening deepens, you sense the cadence of prayer meld with lore in the hushed harmonies shared among neighbours. Stories of courage folded into fervent liturgies rise into the night, bound for distant echoes flitting fleetingly between stars as dreams unfold through midnight's canopy. In this mingling of faith, folklore and fellowship, you find your place nestled within devout shadows, protected both by sanctified benedictions and the gentle charms of those preferring to glimpse beyond the veil. Beneath a sky dusted with celestial diamonds, you whisper your prayers into the ever-listening hush and place humble trust in both the grace above and the mysteries below. As the night wraps itself around your village, filled with the chorus of crickets and distant winds, weaving through the ancient branches, you drift into the comfort of timeless tales, some sung and some whispered, but all shared. Guarded by charms, blessed by countenance, your journey proceeds under benevolent watch, where every sunrise spins anew the fabric of faith and resolve, clutched securely in the folds of your being. With the first light of dawn brushing gently across the fields, a new day beckons you into the intricate world of agriculture. A world where the soil beneath your feet and the weather above define existence itself. This is the backbone of peasant life, a relentless cycle where survival is deeply interwoven with the rhythms of the earth. The fresh morning air fills your lungs as you step outside your humble hut, meandering towards the fields where the heartbeat of the village resounds most prominently. Lands ploughed with effort and diligence stretch before you, awaiting the tender ministrations of skilled hands that have learned, through seasons steeped in trial and triumph, the art of coaxing life from the ground. Toiling away at these tasks, you become part of a venerable tradition. The peasant farmer, steward of the land, you rise to greet this challenge with soil-stained hands map-reading the terrain of agriculture in an era unversed in modern mechanization. But while simplicity and hard work rule, innovation is never far from reach within this rustic landscape of challenges and ingenuity. Work unfolds as you guide steel-tipped ploughs pulled by trusted oxen, cutting furrows that will cradle your seed. This is painstaking effort, sometimes infused with the gentle humor of a wayward beast intent on creative disruption. Each pass across the field sets the foundation for future harvests, the very soul of patience ingrained in each turning clod, and your rhythmic strides provide a sense of soulful connection to the earth. Dotting the village's fields, the neatly planted rows of barley, rye and wheat speak of hope, a resolute promise that sustenance will sprout and flourish, sustaining life through the barren chill of winter's rain. But here, within nature's embrace, you understand deeply the precarious balance that oscillates between abundance and scarcity. Ever wary and watchful, you guard your field as one would a cherished treasure, hedging faith against blight's cunning incursions and pestilence's relentless advance. The seasonal cycle dictates life's agenda, vulnerable to the whims of weather and fortune. The wait for rain traipses on summer's edge, filling every kindled prayer with urgency and giving pause to the repetitive rhythm of everyday toil. Rain arrives sometimes with capricious abandon, only to cease when its bounty is needed most, while floods mock ploughed lines by washing dreams away. The crop rotation you practice echoes practical wisdom honed by generations. Leaving sections of land fallow in alternating years allows nutrients to replenish, aiding in mitigated virility against soil depletion. This system, while straightforward, points to an intuitively sophisticated understanding of agriculture's sacred dance, a connections-based approach long before a farmer's almanac thought to whisper its secrets in print. Autumn heralds harvest, bonding neighbours in collective exertion beneath a ripened sun. Scythes swing with mastery, cutting swathes of golden grain, brown forearms gleaming amidst the ritual's deep, generous rhythm. Each bundle, bound to be threshed, holds a different kind of joy, the satisfaction of sustenance now assured against the seasonal spectre filling empty larders. Tales of harvest festivities linger forth amid abundant yields, stories passed down across generations, recounting times when bounty overflowed. Thus, the tradition of communal work extends into the promise of a feast, an autumnal celebration embracing village vibrancy and ephemeral laughter. While historians continue to debate whether medieval agricultural practices owe more to luck or ingenuity, in your village, the fields hold the unspoken language of survival on their tongue, a discourse known intimately to those whose knees have knelt against soil, bargaining each day with faith and diligence. As the sun arcs overhead, its warmth soothing the weary muscles of toil, You stand back and admire the cohesive synchronization among earth, sky, and labor. Beneath a vast canopy of azure splendor, this tangible tapestry of growth unfurls before your eyes. Every planted seed a testament to humanity's indomitable spirit. And as evening's subtle colors wrap the fields in its gentle embrace, you find reassurance there, hewn from shadows and sunlight, spliced through waving stalks, a gentle reminder that life persists. In the quietude, you cherish the simple dignity of agriculture, an infinitely complex interplay tethered by unyielding devotion, forging ahead amidst the throes of uncertainty, infinitely resilient beneath nature's indomitable gaze. Turning homeward, you carry with you the day's essence, launched on gentle breezes, the symphony of nature's deepening embrace, promising seasons yet to come, and eternal fields that whisper softly your name. As the sun begins its steady ascent, casting a golden hue over the village, you immerse yourself in the tools and technology that make peasant life bearable, if not a touch whimsical. Here, ingenuity takes center stage, unfurling its inventive wings amidst the humble reality of medieval living, where every tool holds the promise of making the day's labor just a little bit lighter. With a careful eye, you examine the contents of your small wooden shed, a treasure trove of simple devices crafted from wood and iron. Each tool, worn smooth by years of use, carries its own story, a testament to the skill of the village blacksmith, whose forge remains at the heart of your community. Its rhythmic clanging, a comforting reminder of industry and progress. The plough is perhaps the most pivotal among these implements, a marvel of wood and metal designed to carve the earth with precise dedication. Guided by practiced hands, it slices the soil, aerating and readying it for crops that sustain your livelihood. With every furrow carved, grains of hope are sown, each pass a reminder of the intricate dance that partners man with beast and land. Nearby, a range of hand tools, weights hoes, sickles and scythes, hold their rust-kissed edges to the light. Their simple elegance belies a sophistication honed over generations, expertly crafted to transform labor into sustenance, turning back-breaking work into a timeless ritual that connects you to the ancestors who coaxed life from these same fields. Each sickle sings as it severs stalks with a graceful arc, while the scythe's broad swathe upon golden waves invites a harvest's symphonic rustle. There's something poetic about the interplay of metal, wood, and nature, a harmony expressed through sleek yet rugged utility. Yet it's not all toil. These instruments are wielded with camaraderie, infusing daily labor with light-hearted banter as fingers curl around well-worn handles. The village artisan adds further innovation to your daily kit with tools of carpentry and repair saws, chisels and adzes honed to the perfect balance of sharpness and control. These are lifelines for maintaining the well-trodden paths of everyday life, repairing the rooftops that shelter laughter, or crafting updates to the simple furniture marking the rhythms inside your home. Egged on by the permanence of his craft, the blacksmith works wonders beneath his soot-blackened fingers, shaping iron and steel into horseshoes and farming implements, creating from molten dreams the semblance of a convenience heretofore. His mastery is unmatched. Secret whispers passed through flames from the memory of craftsmen long gone, a timeless dialogue connecting past to future, traced in each strike of hammer on anvil. In the realms of domestic tranquility, though laughter might prefer the plainness of battlefield, you rely on rudimentary implements for cooking and living. The humble cauldron, its underside kissed by the flame, entwines its rim into hearty stews and fortifying broths. Wooden ladles stir such culinary alchemy as can transform homeliness into essence rich and savoury. At times, technology graces your quiet abode with inventive serendipity. A simple loom, the household equivalent of a domestic bonanza, transforms wool into fabric within deft fingers' span, creating garments not only agreeable enough for necessity, but occasionally ornate enough to capture the eye and spark pride within the heart of a family gathered close. Historians still argue whether medieval technology should be seen as remedial or groundbreaking. Yet, in your village, that distinction blurs beneath a mutual understanding. Each tool, skill, and tradition bears the mark of ingenuity, poised on resilience's unshakable bedrock. As the day stretches, you marvel at the simplicity of invention, bending its knee to the integrity of experience, each tool a reflection of humanity's enduring quest for progress, amidst the embrace of necessity. These instruments, born of fire and hand-hewn wood, are testaments to the abiding spirit of perseverance, crafted through trial, gently honed by time, and ignored at one's peril, lest custodianship falter. Set against the vibrant backdrop of village life, you find solace and inspiration in this mosaic of tools, instruments enlivened by the vitality of there, simplicity matched only by the elegance of their necessity. And as night drapes its comforting shroud over the forge's flickering light, yourself, tethered to this timeless continuum, you carry with you the promise that tomorrow's toil shall find its way forward with ancient wisdom as your guide. And humble hello in every well-used grip. As the sun reaches its zenith, casting warm beams over winding paths that snake through the village, your thoughts drift towards the anticipation of market day. A delightful reprieve amidst the relentlessness of daily toil. It's a chance to bridge the gap between the rural fields of your home and the bustling energy of the nearby town. A change of pace that tantalizes both senses and imagination. Setting off with a basket in hand, you tread well-trodden paths that connect the village to the wider world. The road, etched into the landscape, carries with it generations of footfalls and cartwheels, echoing stories of trade and exchange, travel and discovery. Alongside you, fellow villagers make their way through this tapestry of countryside and roads, baskets brimming with produce, handmade goods, and hope for a fair price. Entering the town is like stepping into a different world. It breathes with an energy fueled by colour and sound, compositionally richer with every heartbeat. Stalls lined along the marketplace teem with goods that range from the simple to the exotic, bright bolts of fabric that ripple like captured rainbows, fragrant herbs densely packed in burlap sacks, and freshly baked bread whose golden crusts promise sweet indulgence. The marketplace is a cacophony of voices, a living symphony orchestrated by shouts of merchants extolling their wares, the laughter of children dashing haphazardly through throngs, and the gentle bartering murmur that plays out over every transaction. Threads of conversation weave into the melody of trade, mingling tales of distant lands and local gossip, with illusions of prosperity dangled amid air rich with the scent of spices and fresh fare. You wander with a sense of purpose, your eyes alight with curiosity at each stall, fingers brushing against textures that speak of lands beyond your own. Amid displays of vegetables, cheeses, and meats, you strike soft negotiations with shopkeepers, nodding over produce your fields yielded and knowledges long held about value and alliance. The weight of each choice, modest though they seem, echoes its importance, ensuring the larder inside your humble thatched home sustains through the days to come. Beyond commercial exchange, the marketplace becomes a tapestry of memories and possibilities. Each transaction is tempered with humour and camaraderie, a dance between haggle and jest whose familiarity reinforces the essential social bonds of village life. Few resist tales exchanged over wares, where moments of goodwill guarantee hearty chuckles that lace familiar encounters. Meals yet untasted echo in shared remembrances. The barter system remains both whimsical and shrewd, with goods exchanged rather than coins dropped into greasy palms. Through intricate verbal negotiations, you swap eggs for a rare piece of corned beef, flour for a silky length of ribbon, a basket of apples for news tended fresh from unseen lands, a network woven across smiles, insight, and the gentle art of negotiation. As you part with your wares, you steer amidst booths where travellers' stories take shape, minstrels trilling ephemeral tunes whose notes flit like butterflies through market-goers, and wanderlust whispering of journey's mysterious path. These moments of adventure and mystery glaze daily routine with flickers of a world unseen, inviting wonder to nestle amidst tales unscripted. And in a sun-dappled clarity, shopkeepers extol more fantastical items to curious eyes. Though many delight in the observation of these treasures silk from the east, rare spices promising opulence even if thimbles hold purchase within, realities trimmed only the theatre of imagination can afford them sanctuary. Beneath the daily enterprise. Noble dominations aside, access still submerges itself through historic veins, threading subtly beneath the scenery, a poignant reminder that lifeblood's foundation rests sturdily amid the connected roots of farmer, merchant, and artisan alike, a cycle of perpetual unity enshrined. Historians still argue whether medieval trade was exceptional economic dexterity or merely survival necessity, yet as the day's final notes sing their last, you hold this truth transfixed between your hands, where commerce interlaces with the bonds of humanity, forming the scaffold upon which society turns. It hides in full view across shared smiles, not bound entirely by imagination's dalliance nor industrious legitimacy. Returning to your village in the late afternoon light as hearth smoke curls into the mellow sky, you carry home more than mere good, embracing knowledge and laughter, echoes of a bustling marketplace, where dusty paths and human stories flow endlessly beneath a canopy of hope. Leave assurances that thrive beneath the humbler threads of your life. The town, with its kaleidoscopic reverberations, becomes a cherished memory, stored alongside sustenance and possibility, on shelves that gleam with the promise of satisfying tomorrows, secreted within quiet dreams stitched into the beginnings of night. With morning light filtering through your thatched roof, casting soft patterns across the humble interior of your home, your mind turns to the curious world of natural remedies and practices, an intriguing dance between tradition and invention that has thrived for centuries. In your medieval village, the line between medicine and magic is often as blurred as the smoke that curls from your hearth. You begin the day by visiting the village green, where plants and herbs grow in abundant patches of colour and texture. Here, etched into the landscape and whispered through generations, lies the herbalist's knowledge, a wisdom that binds the community to nature, healing through the bounty of the earth's generous veins. Each plant holds stories in its leaves, petals and roots, whispers of cures and lore that enchant as much as they educate. Lavender, mint and chamomile flourish in the garden beds, bustling at the heart of this living apothecary. Their aromas mingle in a bouquet that lures both bees and villagers seeking solace. For lavender, with its calming presence, you might find comfort in its gentle sway, infusing dreams with peace when tucked beneath a pillow. Chamomile, tender in leaf and gentle to the senses, brews teas that bring relief to weary souls and aching bellies, a balm bestowed by nature's best unseen. Each root unearthed carries the promise of renewal. Yarrow and comfrey, dandelion and fennel befriend you in this eternal dance with the natural world. Boiling willow bark into a tea invokes relief, the latent power of salicin waging a quiet war against the throb of pain. The herbalist's touch is light yet deft, nestled within fingers fashioned by the breath of leaves and pollen. For you and your kin, these remedies weave beautifully into the complexity of daily life. Remedies guide you through the seasons, property of lore as much as science. They remedy the pulse of life with hope and faith. Each carefully crafted tincture resonates with the past, connecting with timeless traditions that whisper through history's annals. In rustic kitchens and at communal gatherings, shared knowledge becomes currency, where myths and realities entwine gracefully around hearth fires, flickering behind tales spun in hushed tones. The exchange is seamless, crafted wisdom and hopeful wishes wrapped gracefully in gestures of guidance. While you prepare an infusion of elderflowers, a safe retreat for overheated brows, you smile at how necessity births invention, acknowledging the quaint but insightful creativity that marks the organism of village living. Mixed with a generous pinch of conviction, the oddities of life's clumsy fables, such as rabbit's feet for fortune or placing lemons in doorways to avert bad spirits, become a theatrical delight on their own. On the edge of this harmonious practice, the occasional venture into the peculiar casts shadows in the sensible realm. Who could forget the time old Elsbeth insisted on burying a toad beneath the threshold for good health? Much to new mothers' bemusement and children's awestruck giggles, historians still argue whether medieval remedies were more empiricism or enchantment. But within these walls, both roles flow into an intimate confluence bound by trust. Threaded through each botanical tapestry is an undeniable confidence in the mysterious poise of nature's enigma, a discerning fortitude embodied through the soothing ripple of ivy and oak that bends in eternal tangibility. Sometimes you ponder the thought, does the honey collected by the village's bees hold secrets for wounds needing caution? Or does the sticky amber hold fantastical claims beyond repelling through the drudgery of confounded nights? Unearthly remedies or grounded sensation? The truth resides in the tapestry woven by those who plant, harvest, heal. Tempered through season's ceaseless revolution, knowledge born in grassy fields and pathways leads hands deftly vibrating with the symphony of season and remedy's touch. As evening blankets the village in a star-studded display, you gaze at the quiet optimism upon which herbalism is built. the inextricable bond between earth and soul. Guided by ancient wisdom that blossoms beneath your fingertips, you rest assuredly with the sense of spring. A promise not of answers, but rather of gentle belief, whispered upon nature's breath. In the twilight hours, health and hope dwell side by side, sharing fragrant dreams, spun from roots and thorns. Blossoms and blossoms anew, a resilience lit by countless moonlit nights, flourishing as nature's restorative web returns life to its humble course, transcending ailments beneath skies cupped in shadowed grace. As the sun paints the sky in hues of amber and rose, casting a golden glow over the village, thoughts turn eagerly to festivities and celebrations. These moments of communal joy provide a welcome respite from the daily grind, transforming routine into revelry and hard-packed dirt roads into pathways of mirth and merriment. The anticipation of a feast day tingles in the air like the first notes of a much-loved melody. Villagers bustle with excitement, their spirits lifted at the prospect of indulgence in music, dance, and rich cuisine. Preparations unfold with the rhythm of a well-rehearsed dance, and everyone, from the smallest child to the eldest sage, plays their part in crafting this tapestry of festivity. As you step into the village square, a sense of transformation envelops the space, where garlands of wildflowers arch majestically over doorways, and colourful banners flutter in the breeze like joyful spectres. Tables are laden with the bounties of harvest, loaves of freshly baked bread still warm and fragrant, wheels of cheese capped with creamy indulgence, and bowls of hearty stews simmering invitingly over open fires, crowned with fragrant herbs. The feast itself presents a mosaic of flavours and traditions, a vivid display of community companionship. Its soul rests in the combined contributions of every cook's seasoned hand. Dead centre is the roasting pig, its crackling skin a testament to culinary prowess. The scents of savoury spices a siren call, luring the merrymakers from every corner of the square. Children dart through the gathering, laughter trailing behind them like wisps of smoke as they chase after dreams of festival treats and risks unmet. Their jubilant cries echo across the village, lending an innocent harmony to the festivities. For them, magic is alive today, seen in hidden puppet shows and surprise games of skill, earning them sweets and token prizes. Musicians gather, tuning their instruments against the warming sun, ready to shower the crowd in melodies. Their playful notes infuse the air with an irresistible energy, inviting villagers to heed the call of frenzied rhythm. Lutes and tambourines strike up a raucous tune, and before you know it, you're swept into the merriment. A kaleidoscope of spinning fabrics and stamping feet on the cobblestones, a dance floor beneath the open sky. Games invite hearty competition, the likes of sack races and tug-of-war fostering good-natured rivalries that bubble over through laughter and cheers. Aunt Doris's pudding-eating contest draws both competitors and amused onlookers to its sticky theatrics, reminiscent of true peasant spirit. As the festivities carried on, the village becomes a tapestry of interwoven stories, generational threads whispering across picnic-packed blankets, sharing chamberpot tales of wayward pigs and shepherds' romances. It's here, within the shared laughter and nods of acknowledgement and understanding, that alliances are woven and deepened. Evening drapes its velvet cloak over the celebrations. Stars twinkle to life at twilight, and the air cools, turning the revelry softer, more intimate. By firelight, hushed voices indulge in storytelling, the warmth of kinship heating conversations spanning generations. Each tale ripples forth, capturing imaginations while connecting past and present, a precious storied fabric holding fast under hearth and sky. The convivial spirit extends a gentle hand to newcomers, welcoming all who walk its earthen paths to stand among its gathered merrymakers, an ethereal harmony suspended among twilight skies. Historians still argue whether medieval festivals were escapes from enduring hardship or celebrations of life's perseverance. Here, cast among waves of joy and camaraderie, you understand that both truths interlace within moments of celebration. Each revel leaves threads of hope and unity engraved within shared hearts and soil. As the night deepens, the flames of the bonfire reaching up to kiss the stars, you recline into the embrace of contentment, the rhythmic heartbeat of your village pulsing warmly around. Here, within the festival's embrace, lies a promise of renewal, a shared understanding that life, though punctuated by toil, is rich in kindred spirit and joy's sweet echo. With a final look at the enduring magic of festivity, you settle into the realization that these moments forged in laughter, music and connection tend ties that bind spirit to earth. As candles flicker their soft farewell, tomorrow's dawn prepares to paint a new indelible page in this cherished ledger of life, lived amidst feasts, fables, and the eternal dance of community joy. With the gentle sun rising, casting a soft luminescence over the landscape, your thoughts turn to the creativity that blooms within your community, a testament to the resilience and ingenuity found amid the simplicity of peasant life. Craft and creativity are more than mere pastimes. They are essential skills that enhance survival, breathe life into necessity, and infuse everyday existence with a touch of artistry. The rhythmic cadence of a loom, the steady hammering of a blacksmith, and the delicate carving of wood are not just tasks, but expressions of human ingenuity. As you step out into the brisk morning air, you're greeted by the vibrant mosaic of village life, a symphony of artisans crafting both utility and beauty from raw materials. In the heart of the village, the loom stands as a silent sentinel to the weaver's art. As you approach, the weaver's nimble fingers dance across threads of yarn, turning them into fabric with a precision that borders on the magical. Each pass of the shuttle adds another line to the story, a tactile narrative woven into every inch of cloth. The bold checks and stripes that emerge are more than cloth. They are the tapestry of your daily life, practical creations infused with the soft language of artistry, carrying warmth and protection against the bite of winter's chill. Nearby, the blacksmith's forge glows with a fiery intensity, the rhythmic clang of hammer striking hot metal, a sonorous heartbeat of creation. It's here that metal is coaxed into form, a process as timeless as it is transformative. Swords for defense, horseshoes for good fortune, and tools for tilling the land all take shape beneath the blacksmith's practiced hands. Amidst the heat and sparks, inventive solutions to commonplace challenges are crafted, proof that creativity and necessity are close companions. Woodworkers carve their own niche of creativity, with soft curls of wood falling to the ground like gentle snow as they conjure spoons, bowls, and even toys from sturdy logs. It's a practice that emphasizes both the utility and the grace in crafting everyday objects. The smooth curves and polished finishes evoke a sense of accomplishment and pride. Each creation, an embodiment of patience and gifted skill. Even the children participate in the dance of creation, their nimble fingers busily weaving dolls from scraps of cloth and twigs, inventing games from stones and dreams. In their play lies the foundation of craft, nourishing tomorrow's artisans and carrying forth the traditions of a community that thrives on innovation. Art is never too distant, and the occasional appearance of a wandering minstrel or storyteller at the village square infuses life with vibrant tales spun from imagination. These travelling creatives share stories of far-off lands, epic battles and mystical realms, painting vivid pictures with words and music, offering escapism and inspiration in equal measure. As you wander through the market stalls, your senses delight in the evidence of creativity, the vibrant tapestry of colours displayed by the dyer's wares, the intricate details of the potter's ceramics, and the fragrant perfumes capturing the essence of the harvest all reflect visions that transcend simple survival, a proof that creativity is a sustaining force. Throughout the year, communal projects beckon the collective creativity and labour of the village, from repairing the roofs clothed in reassuring thatch to the patchwork quilting on shared winter evenings. Each stitch and bundle sparks a sense of unity and shared contribution. These collaborative moments offer comfort and warmth, reinforcing the bonds that knit your community together. Historians still argue whether medieval craftsmanship was solely a manifestation of practicality, or if it served higher aesthetic aspirations. Yet here, beneath the eaves of your thatched hut, the evidence is clear. Creativity is woven into the fabric of existence, a seed that takes root in the fertile soil of everyday life, growing with care and flourishing against the backdrop of necessity. As the sun begins its descent, casting long shadows over the landscape, you carry with you a renewed appreciation for the artistry inherent in your community. Each craft, each creation, tells a story of resilience, adaptability, and beauty. An enduring legacy shaped timber by timber, stitch by stitch, flourishing as testament to the timeless embrace of the human spirit. As twilight weaves its soft embrace, you settle into the comfortable assurance that creativity will continue to inspire, guiding the hands of those who labour and nurturing the dreams of those who play. Beneath these star-studded skies, craft and creativity weave their own enduring songs, leaving behind a legacy that whispers promise and possibility across the ages. From heart to hand, hope to hearth. With the evening settling in and a hush falling over the village, the air becomes thick with stories and legends, the lifeblood of oral tradition in medieval times. As you gather with your neighbours around the warm glow of the hearth, anticipation mingles with the crackle of firewood, enticing tales to leap from stolid lips into the receptive embrace of an eager audience. These gatherings offer an escape from the day's toil, drawing people close together while shadows dance along the walls, spinning whispers of enchantment and wonder. With each story told, imagination is set free, soaring over landscapes of memory, where magic dances hand in hand with history, and where the mundane soon yields to the marvellous. The storyteller, a revered village elder, occupies a seat of honour near the hearth, his features flickering in the firelight as he begins to weave the fabric of the past into a rich tapestry of myth and legend. His voice, a melodic blend of wisdom and intrigue, fills the room, drawing listeners into a narrative that twists and turns through realms both known and unknown. Tonight, the tale unfolds of a king from long ago, whose enchanted sword contained secrets spoken by the stars themselves. This myth, so richly imbued with heroism and the trials of destiny, engages even little ones forgetting their drowsiness, eyes wide with the marvel of epic quests before sleep's gentle embrace. Each swish and clang of the imaginary sword echoing in the storyteller's voice adds layers to the burgeoning spin of mythos, resonating deeply in the hearts of young and old alike. Within these tales, the everyday transforms into legend, a seamless blend of fact and fiction that allows you to dream of forces beyond the familiar, yet closer still to home. The village's own luminaries and mischief makers find their way into the raconteurs' stories, their exploits expanded into something larger than life, painting these common folk as giants on history's stage. As the fire burns low, the stories pivot to cautionary tales wherein the supernatural plays a starring role. Legends of restless spirits haunting moon-drenched woods, or fey folk with eyes like pools of starlight, eager to lure stragglers astray. The interplay of shadow and light becomes a theatre for your imagination, casting the uncertainty of night into slivers of fearsome delight. The richness of these stories showcases the peasants' creativity in taming the wild world around them, using legend and lore to explain the unexplained, offering insight and imparting lessons hidden within the mesmerizing narratives. Lessons of morality, courage, and cunning are effortlessly woven into tales of magic and wonder, each story an educational treasure trove, gently unpackaged through each storyteller's gift. Historians still argue whether these legends were crafted solely to entertain, or if they held deeper, more profound meanings that tethered people to their lands and traditions. Yet, in the flickering glow of the hearth, the distinction blurs, and you realize that stories do not solely reshape the past, but also forge bridges to the present, an echo that resonates throughout the village, binding it in collective imagination and shared history. Every eager ear, every attentive glance and quiet hush bestows validation upon the storyteller, igniting the collective imagination to persist through the darkest of nights. For herein lies the surprise of a tale told well. Its gift is twice given, first to the listener and twice returned, narrated anew under midnight's gentle watch. With tales touched by the brush of legend, darkness fades into comfort, turning the house of mud and thatch into a sanctuary where wonder thrives. Each cycle brings new imaginings, and within these moments around the hearth you too become part of the narrative, a guardian of tales whispered across time. As the final echoes of myth and narrative dissolve into the night, you gather your comfort close, feeling the warmth of the shared experience enfold you. The stories have offered not just respite from reality, but a shared tapestry upon which future dreams are embroidered, lifting spirits upon turrets of hope and unity. With peace settling across the village and stars twinkling above, you lie down, cradled by whispers promising voyages yet to come, a gentle reminder that in every shadow may be found a trace of light, a hint of magic awaiting the first breath of dawn. As sleep drifts over you, the promise of fresh tales and ancient wonders lingers close, wrapped within your dreams like a tender friend. As dawn breaks over the village, your thoughts pivot to the ever-present whisper of threats, and the measures taken to ensure safety in a world that straggles the line between the known and the untamed. While thatched huts provide sanctuary from the elements, the wider dangers lurking beyond their eaves present an ever-evolving challenge to medieval survival. First, your gaze turns to the prowling uncertainty of nature, where wild creatures roam the periphery of civilization, an eternal dance of survival playing out under dense canopies and sprawling fields. While foxes are a more frequent encounter, tales of wolves roaming in phantom packs stir vigilance. Though more elusive than real, these stories prompt cautious feet and listening ears to tread softly past shadow-draped alleys of woodland. It's a reminder that even as guardians of the land, you remain a part of nature's ensemble, respectful of its unyielding hierarchy. Rogues and bandits, driven by desperation or caprice, also pepper the stories of village life. Though the village is a tight-knit bastion of camaraderie, it occasionally finds itself vulnerable amidst tales of travellers accosted on the road. Precautions are learned with the ebb and flow of these tales. By securing property and ensuring neighbours watch over the vulnerable, your community weaves a social safety net ready to unfurl when the movement of shadows feels a touch too close. Villagers band together not only in labour but in defence, ready to respond should trouble arise. Everyone, from the young man wielding a scythe like a sword to the elder recalling strategies from yore, becomes part of the makeshift militia when the call for defence reverberates. A sense of unity binds you all, tightly knit through adversities both imagined and real. An unbreakable thread linking each villager with courage, regardless of the scope of their contribution. The weather, too, holds its place among threats. A tempest at sea roiling quietly inland to rise against thatched roofs, its howling echo telling stories of flooded fields and laden crops washed away. Each peal of thunder affirms that vigilance cannot be outwitted by complacency alone. Shuttered windows and hearts drummed by insistent rain invest fully in nature's untamed force. Yet threats are not solely physical. Upward glances from potion-laden tables reveal the priests of your village weaving sermons against unseen malevolence. This spiritual warfare battles the lurking darkness within, setting faith and community as the bastions against unseen evil. Prayers serve as perpetual guardians of the soul, intangible and yet indispensable for sanctifying lands neath heaven's purview. The spectre of war also lingers, whispers of conflict swirling around distant castles, peasant levies, and conscription, invoking both dread and a grudging acceptance of duty's call. For peasants, war bears the ugly promise of exposure to chaos. Its tendrils reach through conscription edicts and landed disputes that choose no side but their selfish course. The drums of battle echo faintly on the edge of memory, recalling past conflicts that drew neighbours away into uncertainty. Historians still grapple with the reality of security in medieval times. Was it a blend of pragmatism and superstition, or the fusion of community resilience against nature's brute force? Yet here, woven into the fabric of daily existence, you find that protection is a tapestry stitched with determination and perceptive counsel from those who've glimpsed ghosts in the night processions. But the village endures through it all, fortified by the bonds of friendship and the shared customs that keep it vibrant. Each measure of defence is thoughtfully woven, whether spearheaded by rumour control, or rituals of blessing, from chapel doorsteps to garden plots. Amidst laughter and work, festivals and feasts, subtle moments arise wherein the robustness of your village cementifies, sharing glances to safeguard against whatever threat tomorrow might unfurl. And as evening falls, casting long amber shadows across gathered rooftops, there's reassurance in knowing the watchful eye of your community never strays far. Holding the harmony of protection close, you embrace the warmth and security of the hearth legacies, bespoken through yesteryear, safeguarding with sure-fire faith the tomorrow yet to come. Within this shared vigil, one finds the ultimate comfort, a lineage of resilience, etched in unspoken promises and buoyed by the tested strength of safety championed in its simplest, truest form. It's a pact that carries with it the weight of countless lives intertwined, and the silent acknowledgement that beneath the stars, you are never truly alone. As the morning sun gently spills through the windows of your thatched hut, your thoughts turn to the realm of education and learning, a pursuit as necessary as it is elusive in the tapestry of medieval life. While access to formal schooling is limited, learning nonetheless finds its way into the heart of the village, weaving a legacy of knowledge through oral traditions and hands-on experiences. Your home, like others, is filled with the lessons taught by everyday life. Education begins at birth, where the family unit serves as the primary teacher. Here, surrounded by kin and familiarity, the young absorb the skills and wisdom necessary to navigate life's intricacies. Parents and grandparents become the first tutors, imparting their knowledge through stories, proverbs, and practical instruction that steadily shape the understanding of the younger generation. In the fields, children learn the art of agriculture, their small hands guided by experienced elders who illustrate which crops to plant and how to tend them. Through observation and practice, they come to understand nature's cycles, the patience required for cultivation, and the interconnectedness of life sustained by the soil beneath their feet. Tasks around the home offer another dimension to education. Learned through imitation, children gain skills in cooking, weaving, and the repair of tools, each task instilling a sense of responsibility and pride in their burgeoning competencies. Oftentimes, these demonstrations are accompanied by stories filled with moral lessons or humorous anecdotes that add layers of depth and context to each chore. Opportunities for learning extend to the village square, where communal life offers exposure to a broad spectrum of knowledge. The blacksmith, the weaver, and the village healer pass down their crafts, welcoming apprentices who wish to glean expertise honed over years. These artisans become de facto mentors, nurturing inquisitive minds who, in return, lend a youthful spark to tradition. While reading and writing remain elusive skills for many, the church serves as a bastion of formal education. The local priest, typically one of the few literate figures, offers instruction in reading sacred texts to those young enough to show promise. The rhythms of Latin prayers may sail over unlettered heads during services, but the understanding of spoken liturgy bridges connections between heart and heaven. Beyond these borders, travelling scholars and minstrels present occasional windows into wider realms of knowledge. Their visits inject a dose of adventure and curiosity, through tales spun from far-off lands and teachings from diverse cultures. These stories and lessons, glazed with the patina of discovery, inspire wonder and imagining among your community's youth. Informal education extends to apprenticeships, where young villagers learn trades by shadowing skilled craftsmen. This system benefits both parties. The elders pass on their skills while securing assistance for their work, and their apprentices acquire expertise beyond books and scrolls. Over time, these eager learners evolve into artisans, perpetuating a cycle of knowledge that preserves village vitality. Historians still debate the efficacy of medieval education, its merits measured against the evolving standards that follow. Yet here, shaped by the parameters of community and continuity, learning embodies a living lineage, unfurling in simple truths woven through the warp of necessity. As evening approaches and the village settles into the quiet of twilight, lessons embraced throughout the day find reflection. Adults and children alike gather around evening fires, voices softening into shared discussions and playful debates that reinforce the day's teachings. From the tales recounted beneath starlit skies to the dreams nurtured in young minds, each droplet of wisdom pools into the fabric of community understanding. Within this tapestry of learning, every gesture, every spoken word, carries the weight of knowledge patiently acquired and solemnly bestowed. You revel in the shared journey of enlightenment, that feeling of interconnectedness binding you to ancestors past and descendants yet to come. Entrusted to that endless pursuit of understanding, as stars twinkle to life, you settle beneath the thatched roof, cradled by the promise of tomorrow's lessons and the quiet joy of a community devoted to the timeless dance of education. Amidst this serene embrace, you recognize that learning is more than the acquisition of facts. It is a lifelong voyage that transcends generations, illuminating your path even as it heralds the dawn. As the muted light of dawn slips into the village, casting everything in soft focus, your thoughts are drawn to the web of community and cooperation that sustains life under the eaves of thatched roofs. Together, these bonds create a network of shared purpose and resilience, a testament to the power of unity in the face of life's trials. The village awakens with a sense of shared endeavour, a tapestry woven from the threads of collective labour. From the crack of dawn, community life surges forward, each individual stepping into the rhythmic dance of daily tasks that have long been choreographed by the wisdom of generations. Tools are shared, and hands work in concert, ensuring that the burdens of labour are carried with ease and mutual support. As you move through the village, you witness the cooperative spirit manifested in simple acts of solidarity. Near the well, villagers gather around, their laughter mingling with the splashing of water as they draw bucket after bucket. Conversations ebb and flow, weaving threads of connection that tie neighbour to neighbour and create a cohesive social fabric that thrives on collaboration. In the fields, the sense of community deepens. Harvests are reaped in spirited unison, the rustle of scythes cutting through ripened stalks, accompanied by the jovial banter that carries over the fields. The shared labour becomes a symphony of purpose, where every villager contributes their strength to bring in the bounty of the earth. And when challenges arise, be it a damaged roof, a broken tool, or a field threatened by pests, the community rallies together, united by the understanding that only through collective action can these hurdles be overcome. Repairing thatch calls forth the skills of nimble fingers and the sturdy resolve of those who've seen every manner of storm. The collective expertise shared willingly strengthens the village, ensuring that no one stands alone against the tides of misfortune. Festivals, too, blossom as expressions of community. They reflect the shared joy and mutual pride of accomplishments gained through diligent collaboration. Each gathered under garlands of wildflowers, exchanging smiles and stories, savouring the fruits of their labour under the open sky. Cultural feasts and celebrations become the crucible where shared experiences are distilled into moments of harmony. Everyone contributes to the preparations, from baking and brewing to music and dance, their offerings melding into the tapestry of vibrant entertainment that transcends individual talent. The sum of these parts creates an atmosphere of well-being and inclusion, an enduring source of vitality and belonging. Seasonal changes bring their distinct demands too, reaffirming cohesiveness and unity. In winter, the challenge of securing warmth and rationing provisions requires ingenuity and careful planning. Villagers gather to insulate homes, sharing blankets and firewood, retelling stories that knit warmth through even the coldest nights. As spring awakens, optimism cycles anew, and pursuits shift to communal projects, transforming dreams into viable futures. The unwritten rules of cooperation guide daily life, fostered by kinship and expectation shared non-verbally between wise nods and gestures. The church too plays a prominent role, gathering its congregation in unity through messages of compassion and charity, underlining the importance of harmony with those who live alongside you. Historians continue to explore the depths of medieval cooperation, debating whether necessity drove innovation or if inherent community spirit seeded such synergy. Yet in your village, this query is not an abstract concept, but a living pledge. The willingness to stand together and create a loving collective in support and in celebration. As the sun dips below the horizon and the choir of crickets serenades the village into quiet repose, you embrace the certainty that tomorrow will bring fresh challenges met by collective endeavour, balanced footsteps forging toward solutions and fellowship funneled toward peace. In these cycles of cooperation, resilience is born and sustained. You marvel at the strength possessed within your village, a strength derived not from solitary championing, but from thousands of whispers woven into resilient chorus, offering harmony harmonized beneath the starlit expanse above. With a comforting sense of this shared humanity, you retreat into the sanctuary of your home, knowing that within each creak of the floorboards, inside every gentle night breeze rustling the thatch, lies the enduring testament to unity. As you drift into sleep, community dreams cradling you close, you are reminded that, though the journey forward may sometimes seem daunting, together you stride upon a path lit by cooperation's unwavering lantern. As the early morning sun spills into the village, painting your surroundings with strokes of gold and warmth, your thoughts turn to the significant yet often understated role of women within this medieval tapestry. The movements and influence of women, though sometimes confined within societal expectations, weave a powerful thread through the fabric of daily life. In your thatched hut, the day often begins with the quiet hum of activities overseen by the women of the household. From the moment dawn unfolds its pale light, they orchestrate a seamless symphony of chores that keep the home running smoothly. Balancing these duties, women instill life and vitality into tasks that bind family and community together, leaving an indelible mark on the rhythms of village life. As you meander through the fields, it becomes evident how women contribute significantly to agricultural efforts. During planting and harvest seasons, women's hands join in harmony with men's, tilling the earth, sowing seeds and gathering crops. Their knowledge of the land, gained through observation and experience, guides decisions about planting cycles and crop rotation, ensuring the land remains bountiful year after year. In the village square, women's roles extend beyond the domestic in the fields. Many are skilled artisans engaging in crafts handed down through generations. Their work provides much more than household necessities. It injects colour and creativity into the community's daily life. Whether spinning wool into fine yarn or weaving vibrant textiles, women infuse artistry into the mundane, transforming simple materials into items both utilitarian and beautiful. Small gatherings of women also work together to produce milk, butter, and cheese, drawing from skills honed over years. Here they share laughter and stories, knowledge passed seamlessly alongside these staple foods. It's within these communal tasks that women build networks of support, offering wisdom and camaraderie, ensuring resilience within their intricate social structures. The hearts of homes are often dictated by matriarchs, whose nurturing extends beyond their immediate family. While they manage domestic affairs, an unspoken strength is apparent as they advocate for their children's education and position within the community. By participating actively in decision-making, women exert influence over village customs and traditions, perpetuating cultural practices that bring unity and harmony. Women are also natural healers within the village, crafting remedies from nature's bounty, a practice that breathes life into traditions of herbal medicine. Their knowledge, rooted deeply in understanding the symbiotic relationship between humanity and the natural world, often rivals the teachings of more formal medical practitioners. As trusted custodians of healing, these women bridge the realms of practical care and nuanced knowledge. Amid modern debates over the dynamics of gender roles in history, it's important to note the unrealized assertiveness and power women wielded within community and beyond. Historians often grapple with the dichotomy of visible labor and invisible influence. Yet in the soft shadows of village life, the impact of women lingers, shaping the essence of society not only through labor, but through the heart's artistry and collective care. As evening descends, the activities of the day gradually give way to moments of reflection, where village women gather in gentle circles around hearths. Here, embers cast a warm glow upon their faces, illuminating not only the wisdom set down in conversation, but also the strength woven from shared experiences and mutual respect. Their voices rise and fall, orchestrating a delicate symphony where laughter, warmth, and solidarity resonate. In these twilight hours, voice and melody blend seamlessly, nurturing minds and spirits with stories passed from grandmother to granddaughter. Through these oral traditions echo whispers of legacy and evolution, underscoring that women's contributions extend beyond labor to include the precious preservation of culture and history. An enduring flame kindled by lives lived with both gentle courage and fierce determination. As you settle into sleep under the comforting canopy of the thatched roof, you hold within you an appreciation for the women whose unwavering strength, creativity, and compassion nurture and sustain life in the village. Their whispered legacy dances among the rafters, echoing gently through the generations with every breath drawn on the cusp of tomorrow's dawn. As the soft light of dawn spills into the village, your thoughts turn to the children playing in its cobblestone streets and verdant fields. A poignant tapestry of joy, innocent mischief, and budding responsibility. Their laughter fills the air with an untamed melody, a soundtrack to life that weaves through the thatched eaves and echoes through the heart of medieval village life. In this age, childhood is a fleeting bliss, a time of learning nestled within the folds of play and duty. As the village stirs to life, children are already at work learning the rhythms of rural existence. They are up early, not only to enjoy the morning's fresh allure, but to embrace small tasks that integrate them into the workings of family and community. The day often begins with simpler chores, feeding chickens, gathering eggs from beneath their feathery warmth, or collecting firewood. These tasks are not burdensome, but an introduction to the world of responsibility, lessons in diligence, patience, and the intricacies of life sustained by the union of effort and earth. Children also weave play seamlessly into the work. Their imaginations ignite mundane objects, transforming them into the magical implements of epic adventures. Sticks become swords, fields transform into enchanted battlegrounds, and the soft rustle of hay underfoot conceals hidden treasures of their own making. Even as they emulate the grown-ups, echoing the motions of farming or crafting in their games, they cultivate joy and camaraderie among their peers. Their journeys through these imagined worlds are a critical layer upon which future resilience and creativity are built. In the village square, education and socialization occur continuously and naturally. Children gather around elders, thirsting for stories brimming with tales of bravery and wisdom, parables enveloped within larger-than-life mythos. Here they absorb and internalize lessons on honor, compassion, and moral dogma, often wrapped in humor and whimsy, carrying tales from heart to heart. On market days, children accompany parents to town, wide-eyed with wonderment at the hubbub of human activity, the colourful stalls, and the mingling scents of spices, fresh produce and live. These excursions broaden their horizons, helping them grasp the larger world beyond village boundaries, preparing them for the day when they may contribute directly to this bustling network. As children grow, their responsibilities encourage mentorship under artisans and craftsfolk in the village, skills apprenticeships that guide them toward proficiency in the trades that sustain village life. The blacksmith's forge and the weaver's loom become secondary homes, sanctuaries in which young minds absorb knowledge through doing, hands busy with tasks that hone them into skilled artisans and future keepers of tradition. Historians often explore the notion of childhood within medieval society, pondering whether it offered respite before maturity bloomed or if budding responsibilities overshadowed it. Within your village, the transitions may be blurred, yet children navigate their world with a vibrant vitality, their curiosity blazing brightly even as they carry young shoulders' weight. As the day wears on, the sounds of play soften, replaced by the rhythmic hum of evening chores. Yet even in these moments, the spirit of childhood remains, a coltish giggle escaping over the rim of a water bucket, siblings nudging one another through kitchen tasks. These fleeting joys mosaic family dynamics and fortify connections between kin. As twilight weaves its serene enchantment over the village, children gather again around warmth and storytelling. Their eager whispers harmonize with the crackling fire, tales passed from heart to heart, the gentle guidance of dreams. They embrace the wisdom of elders, who sow within them the seeds of legacy and understanding. With night settling over fields and streets, the village becomes a cradle rocked gently beneath the embrace of stars. Children slip into slumber, enveloped in the soft embrace of their dreams. Their futures, stitched neatly into the fabric of community life, sing quietly through the night. A lullaby set to the rhythm of crickets and the gentle susurrus of wind through the thatch. As you nestle beneath the comforting weight of blankets, you dream not only of your own childhood, but of those who follow, carried always by an innocence that knows no bounds. You find solace in the sure knowledge that childhood, in all its rich hues and layers, remains a sacred part of the village identity, a legacy that endures through whispers and dreams, weaving the bonds that will carry future generations upon their journeys into the dawn. As the village wakes under the soft hues of a new dawn, your thoughts turn to the wisdom and dignity that come with aging in this medieval world. Aging is both an honor and a challenge, a transition marked not just by the passage of time, but by the legacy one leaves on paths well trodden. In your village, elders occupy a revered place in the social tapestry, their presence a guiding whisper that stitches the past among the ebb and flow of daily life. They are the keepers of history, their lives a testament to resilience and adaptation. With each passing day, they impart their learned experiences to those who walk the paths behind them. Distinct lessons in perseverance, humility, and grace woven into the fabric of shared community wisdom. Stepping outside your thatched home, you observe how age brings about a change in the rhythm of daily tasks. Those with years etched deep upon them move more reflectively, choosing their moments of activity with care. The physical demands of farming lessen gradually, surrendering to tasks better suited to seasoned hands, spinning threads, mending garments, or sharing stories by the hearth. Elders are often found congregating in quiet areas of the village, perhaps a bench under the sprawling oak, or near a stoop warmed by the morning sun. Here, conversations flow with gentle humour, glistening with anecdotes sweetened. I quote, "With time infusing others with laughter or solace, this companionship fosters an ambience of serenity, an unspoken unity among those who've journeyed together through life's seasons." End quote. The power of memory lives strong in the minds of the village elders. As custodians of oral history and tradition, they bear witness not only to change but to continuity, passing on tales that ensure cultural identity thrives. Their memories are a wellspring of knowledge, offering guidance to those who seek insight or inspiration from its depths. Stories of bountiful harvests, of courage against adversity, of love found and lost, all accompanying the flow of life. For younger villagers, the wisdom of their elders carries profound value. Children gather eagerly to hear tales of yore, the kind that set imaginations alight under starlit skies. Lessons are imparted in parable form, often interspersed with humour that leaves lasting imprints. Learning becomes a shared voyage, carried on the cadence of narrative craft, cultivated with warmth and communal ties. Beyond wisdom, the elders partake in celebrations and festivals, their presence a cherished thread in the vibrant tapestry of village life. Whether by sharing dance or song, they offer the kind of joy gleaned from experience, a vital reminder that aging, while it may represent the winding path towards twilight, holds within it an indomitable spirit, forged through resilience and fulfilled dreams. Historians still ponder whether medieval aging was burdensome or fulfilling, and yet, amid the simple cadence of village life, it seems to encompass both, a rich blend of burdens and triumphs awaiting each soul that completes the journey around the sun. As night enfolds the village, the elders settle into life's quieter rhythms, cradled by memories of yesterday and ambitions for tomorrow. Their contributions, a legacy found within each smile, every kindness, and each shared truth whispered gently like a breeze through leaves. In this quietude, you embrace the gentle certainty that grows alongside time's footprints. The experiences of those who came before become valuable guides lighting the way for others, a living beacon of perseverance, embedded wisdom alive in the souls of those who listen. As moonlight wraps your home in a silken glow, you turn inward, reflecting on growing older within this circle of renewal. Only when hand rests inside hand, heart to heart, will one truly comprehend that aging is not only an inevitable process, but an illustrious journey, worthy of both respect and admiration. A story whose final chapters glow with unyielding promise and unspoken grace. With this knowledge you drift softly into dreams, wreathed in the gentle embrace of history's unfolding narrative. The elders' whispered song, a balm gilded amidst promising tomorrows, and an enduring legacy sheltered beneath the cradle of stars. As dawn gently unfurls across the horizon, casting a golden glow over the village, your thoughts weave into a poignant reflection on the enduring resilience of peasant life. A resilient spirit that thrives within the confines of thatched huts beneath the open sky. This closing passage offers a moment to gather the threads of history and to contemplate the legacy left by those who have walked before and those who tread softly now. The everyday life of peasants is a testament to the human spirit's capacity to adapt and endure, to find moments of joy amid adversity, and to create beauty from the simplest materials. In their thatched abodes, villagers carve out spaces of refuge and warmth, where laughter mingles with the crackling of the hearth and the softness of stories whispered through the night. Despite the challenges found in unpredictable weather, rigorous toil, and the ever-present dance with nature's whimsy, villages foster a deep connection with the land. It is this very earth that sustains them, offering nourishment and grounding amidst life's tumultuous phases. Within each planted seed lies a hope that tomorrow's harvest will bring bounty and allow families to thrive in their simple yet profound existence. The unyielding bonds of community weave through the village like golden threads, knotting together lives in mutual reliance and shared purpose. Whether through the clatter of tools in the forge, the vibrant escapades of market day, or the familial embrace of festivals, kinship blossoms, fortifying every heart with the assurance that no journey is traversed alone. Each elder, each child, each voice raised in song contributes to the perennial tapestry of life that enchants the senses with its mundane magic. Their stories crisscross paths, blending into the eternal hum of village life, where ancient wisdom and new aspirations converge harmoniously beneath starlit nights. Historians often ponder the nuances of medieval peasant survival, questioning whether it was an existence teetering on the brink or a celebration of resilience. Here, nestled beneath the protective thatch and the watchful gaze of the land, you find a profound clarity. Life for peasants is an unbroken melody of survival and celebration, hardship and triumph, woven into the essence of time. As the village prepares to slumber under night's velvet shroud, you find yourself enveloped in the gentle closure of a day well lived. Memories of human endurance, unity and creativity echo softly through the whispering grasses, promising that the spirit of those who inhabited these humble huts will linger, unforgotten. With this thought in mind, a deep sense of peace washes over you, like the first touch of dawn, nudging closed, weary eyes, while kindling dreams anew. Each gentle breath carries you further into the land of sleep, where the echoes of past lives and whispers of future hopes intermingle beneath the thatch, sheltered forever in hallowed rest. Greater than, greater than, greater than. End of script. Sweet dreams.